What's up, world? It's your guy, Steven Steers, to talk about engaging your guests and your audience when you're presenting. Hey everyone, constant question I get all the time. How do you engage your audience and get your audience involved? Now, there's different ways you can do this if you're in person or you're online. For our purposes today, we're gonna talk about the online thing because, at least right now, that's the more common version of interaction most people are having. I'll cover a few tips as well for the in-person thing, but online is the example we're going to use today. Some of the techniques we're going to talk about today are the same, so you can apply them across the environments, but there will be some subtle nuances with the online thing because it is quite specific, which is why we're going to talk about it a little more in depth today. Okay, so let's talk about the commonalities between an in-person and a digital presentation. Number one, you have an audience. You need to make them excited to be there with you. This all starts with professionalism. So I covered this in an earlier video where we talked about the question that Kelly asked. Being professional means you are doing the pre-work for your talk. This means sending emails, surveys, and engaging with that audience, friending them on LinkedIn or other places so that you can ask them questions. A simple question is, really curious, what would be the number one thing that you would learn from my talk tomorrow if you could? What's the number one thing that you would leave happy with if I taught it tomorrow? Simple question. Most people will have a decent answer. Most people probably won't answer you back, I'm sorry to say. Just depends on your topic. But for those that do, you know you have engaged members. This is an important thing. So you've at least made the attempt to friend people, get in front of them, and show you're excited to be there. Whenever I've done this, I've noticed an incredible amount of warmth for when I've arrived in a room or on a digital presentation. They feel they know you. They feel that you're not just there to throw information at them. You are there to listen and to make something that is specific for them. So that's the first place engagement starts. It starts before you ever talk to anybody. Show them that you're serious. Show them that you're a person who takes time and has the details sorted out. That's how you're going to make a difference within your group before you even start the presentation. So that's where engagement starts. Sorry to tell you, but it's before the event starts. That's the first place. So once you've warmed them up with who you are, what you have, maybe there's some pre-work you send and you say, okay, great, thank you so much for asking that question. What I've created here is a quick exercise that you can do before our talk, and you can come in with this example ready, and when we're on the talk, we're gonna break your specific example down to show how it works within this framework. This gets people excited. You're gonna give them free consulting or free help, and it also shows everyone else on the presentation that you are a hardcore thinker and that you give people great advice directly in your presentations with actionable takeaways that they can use in their life and in their business. Now, if you structure this properly, and I'm happy to talk about this on another video or privately with you, you need to create a loop. This is what we call in my 5 Ps, the purpose. You're gonna hear the example often when I say, we help caterpillars go to become butterflies in 5 easy steps. This is where we've helped people who can clearly identify themselves as caterpillars. Their clear goal is to become butterflies. And then we also need to talk about the problems that butterflies experience and how we've helped solve those things. That's the loop. So now you're a butterfly. Great. Do you know how to fly yet? Oh. These are other things. There's a different diet a butterfly needs to have. These are the types of things that you're going to have ready in your presentation to start agitating and creating that loop and showing people that you are there to solve their problems. These are things that I highly recommend you adopt before you even get started and how you actually present your material on presentation day. The next thing, for all of the people who have been kind enough to engage with you before the presentation, and this works digitally and in person, call them out by name when you get to a certain part of your presentation that speaks to the information they shared with you. For example, hey Crystal, I remember from our conversation on LinkedIn 2 days ago that we talked a little bit about how being a caterpillar was difficult for reasons X, Y, and Z. And what we've done with that is built this particular framework to adjust for X and to make Y really not even a problem, and to show you how Z can take you through to the third step faster than anyone else. And Crystal's gonna love that you're speaking directly to her and showing how her actual existence as a caterpillar exists within your framework and takes her even closer to the goal she has of leaving as a butterfly. Call everyone out by name that you can who's been kind enough to engage with you. This will get people to understand that they are being listened to. This is key. This is really, really important. When people feel you're listening to them and that you see them, they will respond in kind. This works digitally and in person. Now, where we're going to split things in half is with the digital and in-person part. Getting a crowd to engage in person is a different beast. Here's why. Number one, you have to manage the fact that you are on stage and a physical presence. There could be temperature restrictions in the room, like some people are too hot, some people are too cold. It's a large room, the acoustics are there, the music might be loud, things might be running late, people are stressed, people are on their phones, and you can see it and you're just wondering what to do. This can be a hard proposition, and no crowd is perfect. No situation is exactly the same, but I'll at least explain how I deal with getting a crowd engaged. I've often been slotted in the after lunch spot on a presentation. And if you've ever presented after lunch, you know how hard it can be. People are tired. People have been there since 9 in the morning and they're digesting their food and they want to do something else potentially. So the first thing I say is I use the framework, fake it, feature it, and fix it. Here's what that means. People are tired and sluggish and not paying attention. When I've taken the stage in situations like this, the first thing I say is, hey everyone, I'm Steven Steers and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. I know we've just had this great lunch, and then I shout out the restaurant if I can, and we're all starting to digest, and I can feel that we've all been here accepting great information from all of the speakers and presenters who have been here before. I want to make a deal with you. I know you're tired, I know you want some good energy, but I'll give you 110% of my energy if you'll give me 100% of your attention over the next 20 minutes. And I promise I will have you leave here today with something that you can put into your life and your business that will change it for the better forever. Is that cool with you? Now, most people listening will say, hell yeah, I love that, let's do that. And that's what I refer to as the agreement. Start an agreement with your audience. This works particularly well to set the frame for your speech and gets people back into it. I've even asked people to stand up when they've been low energy before we get started and just get everyone on my team again and show them that I'm the person they need to pay attention to. When I've done this, it's worked well, and I had tens and tens of people coming up to talk to me afterwards, exchanging information and downloading the lead magnets that I have because I put the thunder into my presentation. So that's one way you can put thunder, the agreement. Translating that slightly is to a digital presentation. You can ask for a similar agreement, but again, it's just slightly different, and that's where your pre-work for a digital presentation is much, much more important. This gives you names of people, situations, and circumstances that you can cite and put into the presentation to get people to pay more attention. There's no guarantee that people pay attention on a digital presentation because they're looking at a screen. If they don't have their camera on, you're done, right? That's one way to look at it. Another thing is, if you offer a thing like a giveaway or incentivize people to pay attention. So you can say, hey, for everyone that turns their camera on, you're gonna be able to download a copy of X, Y, or Z, or get this gift at the end. Or for one person who has their camera on, I'm gonna give a free consultation session that I normally charge $5,000 for to someone who I will choose from with the camera on. Again, you could figure out what works well for you in this regard, but this helps people say, oh, maybe I want that, and they'll respond in kind. These are different ways. So that's what I would say for a digital versus an in-person as far as engaging the crowd. The next thing, and jumping back to the in-person side of things, moving the stage and your body language. These are massively important for how you address the crowd. Your body is an incredible vessel for communication, not just verbally, but physically. If you're moving your body and you're showing confidence feet shoulder width apart and hands properly gesticulating and using pauses, people will believe you. People will believe your message and see their own story in it. These are things you're going to need to master no matter what. They don't work as well in a digital presentation, but they're skills you're going to want to have for when this all turns back around. I highly encourage you to invest and to pay more attention. If you'd like to learn more about body language, please comment below and I will tag you on another training and we can talk a little bit more around what that looks like. But summarizing this all, engaging your audience starts with asking them questions before you even meet them. It's a relationship you're building with these folks. Call them out by name whenever you possibly can and cite their individual examples in your presentation, whether it's digital or in person. The next thing here is own your body and your language. Speak directly to the people that you can speak to by properly communicating what it is that you want them to do with the information that you're sharing with them. Create that loop inside of the presentation that shows that you can solve this problem they came for, which is the purpose, and then also that you can help them with the new problems they're invariably going to experience by achieving this transformation that you can help with. That's massive. The next thing is, to sum it all up, whether digital or in person, you have to tell people what to do next. You have to have a call to action. Call to action means download this ebook, book a time in with me, buy my book, subscribe to my email list for more tips, invite me to speak at your company about these particular pieces. These are examples of calls to action. You must have one. Doesn't matter if you want to sell things or not. Ask people to do something with the information that they've given you. This is massive. So have a lead magnet ready as an example. Whatever that is, capture emails at the very least for any speech that you have. The next thing here, I bet you can guess, it's your follow-up. Follow up with the meeting organizer, follow up with the attendees, thank them for their kind attention and their time, and ask them what their biggest takeaways were. This opens you up to more conversations about whatever it is that you can do for your group. These are the ways that you build a presentation that gets people engaged. It's an entire process. It does take some effort, but it is systemized. And if you want to get a copy of my system, just post in the comments below, and I'm happy to share a brief outline on how you can adopt this in your webinar or in-person flow so that you're prepared for how to do it. Anyway, I'm Steven Steers here signing off for right now. I'll see you soon for another quick video.